everybody, so welcome back to our channel. Honestly, like this episode was crazy. It was crazy. Cody was saying nonsense. At some point, I was like, am I watching the same show? Because he kept blaming every single person for the demise of their marriage. So, for new year, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment. Let's make this whole thing very, very interactive. So, let's start. Let me bring up the slide so that people can follow well. So we started off from last episode where Janelle confronted Cody about their marriage. And I'm actually sort of happy because I think Janelle needed to learn the hard way. As much as people are feeling sorry for Janelle, it needed to happen. She needed to see that the marriage was not salvageable. She needed to see that the marriage was not going anywhere. So I sort of feel bad, but I'm like, it's a necessary evil. So now she's crying because unfortunately she was too involved in the marriage that she mixed our assets with everybody. So like now if we have a house and Janelle paid more for the house, but you will see Janelle and Robin's name there. You see Janelle and Christine's name there. Now she's living in an apartment. She wants to renovate her house, but nobody wants to actually contribute. So she's just there. And it's just a sad thing all around because, girl, you're now crying. I feel bad, but it's like it was something that could have been prevented.
I definitely agree with everything that you just said. Like that is exactly how it was. And we were just talking about like the delusions of Cody. It's just crazy because I feel like it was almost like a setup how he did Janelle when it came to the finances because he knew what he was doing. He knew exactly where she wanted to build and how she wanted to do it. That was supposed to be the whole thing is that the family was supposed to build on Coyote Pass and that's where you guys' home was supposed to be. But I feel like we all know that he has treated Robin like the favorite, and the demise of the relationship of all the other wives has been coming. And I feel like he knew it already. So that was like a part of his plan was to go ahead, still try to hold on to what he could when it came to the finance part, have Janelle put her money in with the house so him and Robin can live on this 4 acre land while she's still living in a trailer. And
Ouch.
now that she's just like over it, it's like you said, nobody is trying to give her like any help with it. Nobody is really trying to like, hey, put their money in and say, okay, well, we're going to get you this house. And I agree with you when you said like that. I feel like it hurts to see that she's going through this, but it definitely needed to happen. This is something that she needs to see and feel. And I think she's just more so hurt at the fact that it's really coming to pass that she knows it's the end. She knows it's the end. There's no working it out. There's no trying to salvage anything. Like Cody is
It
not,
should not even be salvaged. And that's
no,
the
it's
point of the
not.
whole thing.
Not at
It
all.
should not.
And
Because
the
I
way that
mean,
he was acting like when they had that conversation at her house, when he was calling her now saying she was gaslighting him, she's saying he's gaslighting her. It's like for all of us who have had eyes, like we've seen how Cody is, okay? We've seen how the wives have been, and we have seen like how he is when it comes to the kids. The kids have even spoken out about it. Like they're old enough to know the real, know what's going on, and they're old enough to speak out. And I feel like instead of blaming everybody else, he like this is the time he really needs to kind of like look at himself. Instead of going and having boys talk, like go to a real therapist if you need to.
I don't think he believes in all that. But funny enough, he would not believe in all this. But if Robin says, "Oh, let's go for therapy," he would.
Oh
Because
yeah, absolutely.
initially, when he noticed that, let's go back to what started all this. If he really, really cared about this relationship, when he noticed that he was feeling so much lost for Robin, he should have said, "Oh, wow, this relationship is actually in danger. Maybe I should go for therapy and realize that is this polygamy thing for me." So now he's done. did you decide to be a polygamist because you really like polygamy, or because the three women were just available for you to use? And now you found your favorite, and every single time he was in this episode, he kept uttering, oh, well, she's the only one that really cared about me. Oh, she's the only one that I know that is all about me, that is loyal
Hmm.
to me. I thought that really pissed me off, because these other ladies have been loyal, they've been everything to you, you legit built your riches, although you guys are no longer as rich anymore, from the ground with these ladies. And all of a sudden, because they're like, love me as much as you love the others, you're fine. Now you have a
Right.
problem.
But see,
And
I'm not
he
going to
had
jump the gun. But look at how he was with Mary. Like, okay, you married Mary. She's your first wife. I honestly feel just like from day one, seeing how the show has been, I have never really seen the connection that he has had with Mary. I've never really
yeah.
seen like him really like love her like that. So I feel like in the end, because he said that his family, even though they believed in polygamy, they didn't, start living a polygamous lifestyle until he was an adult. So him and Mary got married when they were young, like when they were young adults, like I think it was like 18, 19 or something like that. But
Hmm.
they got married very young. So what was it like? Did you know then that you wanted to be in a polygamous lifestyle then? Because it doesn't seem like that. It seems like maybe you, like I said, you wasn't really into Mary like that, and you're using that as a okay, well, let's live a polygamous lifestyle just so that I can have more than one. You know what I'm saying? Like more than one. I feel like it was him looking for someone better than what he had, but he didn't want to have the stigma of being divorced in a way.
But in this episode, whilst they were talking about their whole like relationship problem, he said, and I quote, I did not marry Christine. I did not marry Janelle. They asked to be joined into the marriage. The only person that we decided to be in our relationship in, like, the only person I really asked was Robin. I'm like, and then you wonder why these women walked away.
Right. And like if you think about it, like the way that he spoke about them, like the way he spoke about like was it Christine? I think it was some. Was it Christine? He was talking about how she chews, and how it turned him off as soon as he heard her chew. He was so turned off by her and didn't really want to like deal with her anymore because it just was so gross to him. And I'm like, this was like years and years. I think this was like in the beginning of when you guys first got together. You still married her, stayed with her, had kids, and then you end up getting with Janelle. Like, if you didn't like her, then why? I don't understand why you would stay.
Because he's a narcissist. He has this kind of ideology that, oh, women must really like me. I mean, okay, let's go to the conversation that he had with his friend. So he met his friend, obviously, because his friend was also a polygamist that got divorced and now is into a monogamy, like he's now a monogamist because he only has one wife currently. So he also did the same thing that Cody did, liking one person more than the other. The only difference was that he had two wives and he was able to let the other one go. Now, Cody started talking to him saying that, oh, I don't know why women do not understand that in a plural marriage, what you're supposed to do was that you're supposed to have like, what's that word about loneliness? There's something that, it says something about loneliness. What's the word
Like
when you cherish something, like a covenant, sort of like loneliness? That was what he was saying. That,
almost like
oh,
a grieving moment or something, or like a
no, let me play the video so that we, because I feel like it's something everybody like needs to listen. I was very shocked. Let me play the audio because I actually took a screen record of that particular point. I could not I could not believe my ears. Because it's like, oh, the women are complaining too much that they ought to have yeah, let me play it. Let me put volume in my phone. Show the world that full families could be loving, functional. It's a strange thing now that the world gets to watch what happens when they break down. And I hope that when people see that, they have compassion. I know that Janelle and Rob are looking at me and they're like looking at me like they don't know me. There's no getting around that. You know that when Beth left me, uh, I was still married to Rebecca. I've lived plural marriage before. I've had two wives. My second wife decided it wasn't for her anymore, and she left. And so that's my history and my background on that. He had an experience that started out very positive. Perfect. Let me just move it a little further because I feel like
I,
speaking
you
too
know,
much.
and I agree with that. Like, uh, I feel like he does speak like he's the center of the world. Like he has to be the center of attention. And when Christine was talking about how, like, when he gets sick, he's the only thing that matters. Like she has to do everything for him. Like
I mean, that's how he
it
has always been.
with everything. Like that's why when he's so dramatic and animated when it comes to like the world does him so wrong. It's everyone else's fault but his. He does nothing. Like
Yes, now I remember the word. He was like, he doesn't understand why women do not understand that in a plural marriage, they need to have sacred loneliness. Do you know what that means? So, Padia's
sacred
description of what is
loneliness.
that, yes, was that you need to be able to sacrifice yourself, be lonely sometimes in a plural marriage to make it work. I'm sorry, if I'm going to be in a marriage, I
Find yourself,
loneliness
be lonely
loneliness should
sometimes in
not.
a
Oh,
plural marriage.
where can I hear myself? Oh, okay, I
Hold
think it's
on,
gone.
wait. Sacred loneliness?
Loneliness, yes. It said you should be able to be prepared to be lonely to make a plural marriage work. And
Uh-uh.
everybody, like Janelle was like, that doesn't make sense. Christine actually laughed because it makes no sense. Why would I go into a marriage knowing that I will be lonely?
And the point of plural is more people, so there should be less space for the loneliness, I would think. Like, there's a lot, like, okay, even if me and the husband, we're not spending time, well, at least the other wives were friendly, or at least like friendly enough to communicate to where if we know that it's not our week, we can at least be each other's company. But sacred loneliness?
Like when he made that statement, I legit like I was like, what? I had to replay that thing because it made absolutely no sense. Why would, because marriage is a union, and in a union, you're not supposed to be alone. Part the
Oh,
meaning of a union, the joining of two or more bodies. That's
right.
what union means. So why should I be in a union with you and multiple other women, and then you are saying I should be able to sacrifice being lonely and I should feel loneliness like a sacred loneliness to make a marriage work? Why else are we married?
Right.
Why are
And
we
why
married?
would you feel like it would be okay to come into this marriage and say basically like, hey, you're going to be lonely and you should be okay with it? I'm sorry, that wasn't a part of the vow. That I didn't agree to that. I mean, well, wow.
Like the
I
lady
have
should have
I've
legit sort
never
it
heard of
out.
that. And if someone was to tell me like, hey, uh, you have to sacrifice your loneliness and like be okay with being lonely, even though I'm your husband. I'm sorry. Go the fuck on. No, you're
Okay,
go on. You're not my husband. You're not. You're nothing. I'm sorry, because if I have to sacrifice my loneliness, I don't need you. I could be alone and just fine by my damn self.
If I'm
There's a
going to
lot
be
of other shit
alone,
that could
I might
fill
as
that
well be
time.
alone, testing every other man on like on the street. Why should I be alone while being married? And then someone's trying to gaslight me to say that, oh, I'm asking for too much, I'm doing too much because I want to have a husband that acts like a husband. Come on, let's not do this.
Yeah. No wonder why they both are going through a divorce.
And I hated the fact that Robin was like, oh, I wanted us to be together. I wanted the family. When I signed off to this plural marriage, I thought we're all going to be together. And now this is not what I bargained. Girl, be shut up. Like, please.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you,
You're
when it
sounding
comes to
like a big
Robin,
hypocrite.
when it, I felt like, and I've always felt like this when it comes to Robin. Robin got into the whole polygamous lifestyle because she just didn't want to have all the responsibilities put on her when it came to being a wife. So you get into this marriage and you have all these other women who are already wives, they're already established because they was together what 16 plus years already before Robin even
Mm-hmm.
came in the picture. So you have these women who are already married in, they already have their roles played, everything's good. So you're coming in and all you're doing is basically filling the bed because there's not really nothing else that you had to do because Cody made it like you were the queen. He has displaced everyone else to place you at the head. And I feel like
Like,
now,
so
with everybody
crazy.
leaving, she's feeling like, oh no, I'm having to actually do.
Because when I watched that, I'm like, girl, if you really wanted to act like a sister wife, you are not helping. So it was Christmas. Everybody's celebrating Christmas separately because I do not want to be forced to go to Robin's house and watch her and Cody being all lovey-dovey. Meanwhile, I'm just there, drowned up, shriveled up. I'm not even sure that those women's vagina even can get wet anymore for Cody. It's like they're just existing. And Mary, as usual, wanting to be the I don't know. Mary should have legit saw the signs. I thought she was going to be the first person to get that divorce. So I was very surprised that Christine found out my what was still there and I needed to leave. Mary, for the love of God, once this man said he needed to divorce you to marry Robin, that should
Right.
have just said, it should have pointed out to you that he ain't shit. Now Mary goes to Robin's
Because he
house
didn't do
saying,
that with
oh,
Christine
I
and
still
Janelle.
want us to work in this thing. I still want the relationship to work out. I rolled my eyes, I was like, damn. And then she
Mhm.
was uncomfortable because Cody, as usual, was being annoyed because of the fact that he could not be so intimate with Robin with Mary being there.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I've seen plural marriages where you can be intimate in the presence of any other person. And the reason why those other women would not feel jealous is because they know that you are intimate with them too. So the reason why they are feeling very like self-conscious that they cannot be intimate in the presence of the other wives is because Robbie knows, Cody knows that they are not being fair. He's not sharing his time equally. He's not sharing his love equally. And then he said, "Oh, I want to be the bad person. I'm gonna be the bad person." The only reason why he's saying all this is because he knows that he's not fulfilling his duties as a husband.
Right. But see, if you think about it, like Cody, that definitely isn't an excuse for the simple fact of, like I said, you was married in a polygamous marriage with Mary, Christine, and Janelle for 16 years before Robin ever came in. You had already had kids with Christine, Janelle, and Mary. All of that time, you was having sex with all of them and working out the time schedule and everything else way before Robin even came in the picture. So you already
Very
had this
new.
down packed. There is no excuse. It's the fact of, like I said, I don't feel like he ever really liked Mary like that. That's why, like I said, you didn't divorce Mary to marry Christine or Janelle, but you did it for Robin.
For
Like there's
Robin.
a whole bunch of red flags and a whole bunch that's clearly being seen when it comes to the relationship that he has with Robin. Clearly. Like we know for a fact that you don't have the same relationship with the rest of your wives that you do with her. And the fact, and even with her kids, your biological kids, you act like you couldn't spend much time with, and it wasn't really your
And
responsibility
then
to
he's
make that
confused that
time.
they do not want to be in his presence.
Right. But yet with Robin's kids, even the three oldest ones that aren't yours, you made time and made sure to be there and place yourself there with them and watch them grow and have milestones and different things that you didn't even do with your own children. And like you said, wonder why your kids feel the way that they do. That's why.
Because
Like,
it's Christmas. Most of the kids opted up to rather spend their Christmas with Christine rather than with sobbing because she's always crying. And then it's like, oh, well, only Mikelty and what's the other girl that had the spine surgery that he gave the excuse of it was COVID, so he could not be there, but he went
right.
for Robin's daughter's piercing.
Daughters, yeah.
What's her name? Her name is very unique.
It hold on. Because it's Christine and Janelle's or Cody and Christine's daughter.
Yes.
Um not McKelty. What is her name?
I can't believe, like, I legit almost said the name and like it just like went off my head. But anyways, it
Right.
will come back to me. So he gave, they were the only ones that came over to Robin's house to spend the Christmas, and that was like maybe a day after. But Mary was there, like a pick me, waiting for him to give some sprinkles of affections to her. It was just so sad to see because she looked so pathetic being there. Like, oh, I just want to be there. I want the relationship to work. I mean, she's the perfect excuse for the whole
Was
sacred
it Gwendolyn? I'm sorry.
loneliness.
Or was it Gwendolyn and Truly that had the surgery?
No, it was not. Like I will remember. Let me just search out the name of the girl.
Yeah, it was either because they got
Christine
Truly, Gwendolyn, Aspen, um, Isabel,
Isabel. Oh,
Isabel.
yes. So they were the only two that went over. And then it was like, oh, I don't understand why the other kids are not there. I don't understand what's going on. They do not want to have a relationship with me. I was like, you are the father, right? I'm not supposed to be the one to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
These are kids. So I'll call you. Hello, Dad. Why are you not reaching out to me? I want to have a relationship with you. I'm so close to speaking like the vernacular that we use here because it's crazy. The audacity to for you to think that the children have to put you before their own feelings. Come on, dude.
But like, that's what's so crazy is because these are your children. You have the responsibility as the parent to actually like make those connections and relationships with your children. And some of these kids were actually young when Robin kind of came in the picture. And honestly, before Robin, he wasn't really as active like that. It was, on the mothers, he worked. Okay. But still, that's no excuse for you not to give that time and attention and to basically say it's not your responsibility to do it. It is.
At all.
So, how can you say or think now that they're grown and they have gone through this for years that they're not going to be like, look, I'm old enough now to where I can make the decision on if I want to be around you or not, or if I want to have that a relationship or not. Like I can make the decision now. It's not forced because I don't have to live inside the house. Mom can't force me. You can't force me. I'm old enough to make my own decisions. And if you're continuing to show that kind of behavior and have that attitude with your children, what makes you think that he's not going to be like, or your kids are going to be like, you know what? I don't want to call him. I don't want to spend the holidays. No, I
You will feel like you are begging for attention. and
Right.
there's a limit to which someone can beg for attention.
Right. How much do you want them to beg? Like, these are your kids. You're coming up with every excuse, and it's all for Robin, though. Like, at this point, we know and we see that it is. And a lot of it has, like, we all know it has started with Robin. Everybody knows it,
Hmm.
everybody sees it. Like, the kids know. And for the kids during COVID to say, hey, can we have our dad back? Because during COVID, instead of you spending or even trying to spend your time or, make sure that all of your kids were taken care of, you were focused on Robin and her kids. That's where your attention was. During
Every
this
single thing
family
that he said
time,
the other wives could not get, Robin got it. I
well,
mean, she got a
exactly.
nanny,
Right.
please.
All of them got it. I think that's what he said. All of them got it, except for Aspen.
It's just so like sad because when those kids grow up, robbing kids, people like I think people need to understand something. There's something this show is actually showing to us. Currently, they are all being cordial because they are kids. When they start entering their late 20s, late 30s, the amount of anger that will be transferred between these kids if care is not taken, especially between the other kids and robbing kids. Hmm.
What do you expect? Like, you've showed favoritism from the time they've come in. These kids, before he and Robin even had their two, the kids that even weren't yours, you were showing them, you know, more favor. You were showing that you basically could take care of them and you were available for them, but you couldn't be that for the rest of them.
And then you would be authoritarian to the other kids. Meanwhile, you're soft spoken. Like it makes like I need to understand something. It makes no sense whatsoever. I don't care if you do not have a good relationship with the other mothers. These are your kids. I'm not even talking about the mothers right now because they should have left that relationship a long time ago, and I'm happy that they left eventually. But the point I'm making now is that this is about your kids. The kids you keep whining about that every single day. They do not put you first. They do not like you. They do not blah blah blah. Okay, fine, fine, fine. We get it. But why are you not putting them first and then complain that they're not putting you first? You
Right.
are the adults, they are the kids. I don't care if these children are 23 years old, 24 years old, they are still kids to you. They are still children to you. You are the adults still compared to them in that situation. So now you want them to be doing the adult thing by reaching out to you, saying, oh, dad, do you want me to be there? Dad, are you going to be present in my life? That's so shitty. So why on earth did you have these kids? Why were you comfortable impregnating multiple women multiple times and you are mad at what's happening? How can you not like these women and then physically want to copulate and have kids with them? And all of a sudden, you cannot stand them and you only want to be intimate with Robin. The math is not making sense. Is it because Robin is younger?
Hmm. Absolutely. That's what I think. I was watching the episodes and I was like, it has to be because she's younger. Like, what else? What else is it? And then you're trying to force them during the holidays after you had no time for them during COVID, a time that was killing thousands and thousands of people, a disease that no one even knew anything really about, a time that was so scary and uncertain for so many people. You chose one out of your 18 children. You chose one family, one side. Out of 18, five of them, three
What?
which were not yours, is who you chose. And you let your other kids know that they had to not only follow the CDC rules, but jump through other hoops. Now I understand, like I said, it was an uncertain time. But why is it that only those rules applied to your other children and your other wives? Why is it that Robin kept getting so much leeway and she ended up getting it, giving it to you and the rest of everybody else? It wasn't even from your other family. And you still have not been able to say, like, hey, let's talk about that issue or what happened. You're worried about the kids calling you. Why can't you be the parent and call them, talk to them about it, and try to get that solved? But then you're worried about Christmas, them not coming by. You want them all to come to you and Robin's house for Christmas while their
And
mom
why can't you go? Do you
to
know
the
how if we
Airbnb.
call them and be like, oh, hello guys, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas? He never puts forth a call, a phone call, a text message, nothing. These kids received nothing. And then you want them to be the one to reach out and be like, oh, can we come to Robin's house and spend Christmas with you guys?
Exactly. But there's an Airbnb, just like when Janelle was telling him, like, hey, you guys can come, you can come to the Airbnb. They want to know if they're dead. I'm letting you know your kids want to know if their father will come and see them for Christmas. And you just say, no, no, I'm not going to do it because I have a house with Robin and they can come there. No, that right there shows just how much care you have for everyone else besides Robin. And then did you even hear the
I
remark that
don't even
Mary
think
said?
Mia actually likes Robin.
He doesn't
She's just
care.
loyal. She's just loyal currently.
And he
A lot
said
of
that.
people keep telling her that her time is ticking. Once
Yeah.
it's over, it's over. He just likes the fact that currently she's still being loyal. Because every single time he describes like their relationship, all he said was that, oh, she's still loyal to me. So I'm going to focus
Hmm.
on the person that is loyal to me every single time.
Every time I was just about to say that. Yep. Every time he says, talks about how loyal she is. That's how he said it to Janelle. Like, Janelle, we can still be great if you are just loyal to me. And it's like, what? Okay. But we're talking about the kids right now. That should only go so far. And Janelle was like, hey, the kids are growing and out the house. And after them leaving, I'm saying we don't have anything. There's really nothing for us, there's nothing to us. So why would she really stay? And you have called this woman so many different names and talked about every last one of them. Every last one. Even when they did that the one-on-one last year, like the stuff that he was saying about him, I was just like, oh my God. But did you hear the comment that Mary made when she was talking about the house and was talking about Christmas and going over there? And she was like, or they was talking about doing Christmas Eve at Mary's house and then doing Christmas at Cody and Robin's. And
Yeah.
Mary was like, see, they come to my house, it's Christmas Eve at Mary's. But going over there for Christmas, it's Cody and Robin's house. And she's like, do you see the difference? And it's like, yeah, like there's nothing to you and Cody. Like Cody has no
I mean, she
relationship
even
with
stated that
anyone.
she's sure that he regretted marrying her.
Absolutely. Like he has regretted marrying her from day one. From day one. They're like even their pictures that they had from when they was married, like it seemed like it only lasted a while. Like not that long. That's why he went ahead and was like, hey, let's be polygamous and you
She
know,
was just a convenient person then.
absolutely.
You guys were both mamas. Like there was too much convenience. That was the reason why they did it. So I'm not shocked that he's treating her like bullshit at this point because it's like, why do I need to invest any emotions in this person? I have a fresher, younger, like someone who is going to treat me like the king and everything. So it's just like really crazy. Because once he started bringing his friend here, I just think he wanted his friend to say things that would um buttress his point and sort of bash the other women. Because we also have a bash Christine last year after getting divorced. Now Christine has a whole boo, a fiance, planning marriage. Like Christine is booed up. So it's not
Right.
like these
She's
women
doing
are not
good.
hot in the market. You just treated them like bullshit. For her to leave you not less than 3 years, she's already booed up and everything. You are the one
Right.
making the problem.
Absolutely. Like you could tell that he was the problem from day one. But it just seems like it's gotten worse. And then Robin crying, like, oh my God, we have to be here for him and we have to do this. It's like, Robin, these other
But
women have been there. They've been there and done their part. Like you
see
can't,
the way he treated them.
right.
Yeah, I
The
don't
what
need it.
the and like I said, the only reason why she's really wanting them to stay around like that is so that she doesn't have to take on as much responsibility. Because that's what
I
she's
mean,
going
now
to have
they're
to do.
financially broke.
Hmm.
So she's like, oh, I do not want to work. I don't want to do anything. So they are actually scared of responsibilities. Because when they opened their Christmas gifts, it was like, well, at least these gifts are not expensive. I bought you guys bags, they are very cheap. He kept making reference to the prices of the gifts. So it's quite
Hmm.
obvious that they are in tight times. And that's why I think this show will keep running for a long time because this is a very easy way to make cash.
Yeah. Because honestly, Janelle was really the moneymaker. Janelle had the reason why him and Robin even have the house that they have like that was because of Janelle's money. And
And
they've almost said
unfortunately, she
that.
was not smart.
Not at all. No.
Like
She
people
was
keep
not
saying,
smart
once
when
you
it came
have
to that.
money, when you buy properties, put it in your kids' names. That's the best insurance you can have. Put it in your kids' names or put it in your name. Don't listen to what anybody wants to say. Do not put it in your husband's name. Do not put it in your it's just insurance 101, so you don't have to explain too much later on because now she can't explain. Her name is like almost every other person's property and she has nothing for herself.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You're staying in that small apartment while Robin and Cody are living on 4 acres in this big ass house. What was it like 9,000 or 900,000? Some how many square feet is that house? Like the
Right.
house is huge. We see it. It's huge. And you're telling me that one, y'all had her living in a small trailer, and
It
she's
is like
finally
i
just
saw
now
i
getting
saw
into.
their kitchen today. They were like almost in it was so small. It was like a big
Yeah,
room that they divided. The Her and her son were basically rubbing bodies while in the kitchen. It was so uncomfortable.
it looked like Cody barely had room when he was in there drinking that hot water. Like it, yeah, you could tell. But that's what I'm saying. Like you were living on the property, the Coyote Pass. You was living there in the trailer, but during the wintertime you rented an apartment. Like make that make sense. When you have given them so much money in order because the money that you got to sell you guys' house that you had in what was that, Utah? The
Yeah,
houses that they
Utah.
sold, the money you got a lot of money from that, and you gave it to Robin and Cody for them to buy a house. Everyone else is doing. I mean, Christine's doing good. She's got her house too. I guess Mary's living
She
in at
was
her bed and
smarter.
breakfast. Hmm?
She was smarter.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, come on, like it's time. And but all of this happening, Cody, you telling me you can't see that you're like the common denominator in any of it? Any of it? Like, where is?
She did not. It's still blaming every single person, especially the women who got away.
Yeah, all he keeps talking about is Christmas, the holidays, and how everybody has
Oh,
done
we're
him.
no longer together. My family has shrunken down. Blah blah blah. Okay, you can go to every other woman and take a family picture, edit it together. But to
Right.
date, you're only taking family pictures with Robin. Go to every single person's house, take a Christmas picture, hang it up. You won't die. But he knows he would not do that.
No, he absolutely can't do that. Like he's, I don't know, he's too engrossed in Robin, and he's really thinking that her loyalty is forever. And I feel like well, everybody's out now because now Robin is all he has. And once he realizes that, hey, Honestly, I feel like them two, they're the type that neither one of them want to really work or make the money necessary. So they would actually try to do like anything to get it at this point and to keep it
Really.
because like they have to maintain the lifestyle. So like you said, the show's not going anywhere because they need them checks. They absolutely do.
Uh,
But
yeah.
yeah.
So to round up, the only reason why I still also think that another reason why is because they also pay the kids, and this is like another way of the kids getting like extra like cash to help their lifestyle. So I think they will most likely keep showing it, even when the other wives get married and all those kind of things. I do not think Mary's going to get married again. I think she has exhausted herself in this whole marriage lifestyle. She most likely date someone because I know that currently she's in the process of leaving Cody. So it's like because this season is like 2 years back.
Hmm.
Janelle has already left currently. Mary too has left. So it's like so I guess
Yeah,
we've
when
covered the
they had the one
entire
on one last year, Mary had it has showed that Mary had left. So Mary's
yeah.
been gone for almost a year now.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is at least like a year or so behind. But that's why I said all he
I
has
think
now is
2 years
Robin. Yeah. So it's
because
just him and
previous
Robin
season
and their
was
kids.
during COVID and COVID was like 4 years ago or so. 3 years, I think. Three,
3 years,
four
yeah,
years
about 2 years
ago.
ago. two
Yeah, so
years
it's like
ago.
2 years back.
Yeah,
So I guess that's all. The episode like really pissed me off. Like I was,
I can't wait honestly until I want to see next week just because I'm ready to just see the whole divorce and the leaving of him and his downward spiral. Like I'm not
yeah,
wishing bad on him at all, but it's just like, pride cometh before the fall, and this is like the time that it is right now for him. So,
I'm like for real.
but until next time, we will
All right,
actually,
bye guys.
yep, later. Bye.